What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode. I'm Mason Sapesky, your host. I know this is something we typically don't do on the channel. This is a sports channel. However, I did want to do this just to have a little bit of fun, with the election coming up now. Actually, we have one more day to go, America. One more day until Election Day, which is tomorrow. So, can you believe it's already here? It's crazy. I mean, we've had this, for 4 years now, we've been talking about the election, and after the summer with everything from the first debate to the Trump assassination attempt to President Biden dropping out to the conventions to the debates, now we are here 1 day away from what many say will be the biggest election in your lifetime. And here I am tonight making my prediction in front of you guys. I just want to set the record straight with a couple quick things before I get into it. Number one, do not vote based off of my prediction. Vote who you think is going to be the best person possible to lead our country for the next 4 years. So do not use my prediction as like some kind of thing, like I'm voting for this person because Mason Sapesky said to vote for, because Mason Sapesky thought they were going to win. Don't do that. Number two, by no means with this prediction am I trying to reveal my political views. This was an unbiased prediction, and I made this prediction unbiasedly based off of what I've seen, what I've heard, and how I feel this election is going to go. And number three, the most important thing you could do this election, if you're over the age of 18, is vote. It is so crucial that you vote. I find it every year, if the turnout's not 100%, that's disappointing, because I don't care how high it is. It could be 80%. It's still disappointing because it's not a full representation of people, because that 20% didn't vote. Think about that. So, please vote. That's all I ask. Just please vote. Without further ado, here we go. I'm going to start off with some smaller races like governor, U.S. Senate, and House, and then we will get to the grand countdown where I will reveal who I think will be the next president of the United States of America. First off, we're going to do governors real quick. For the state of Delaware, I think the Democrat Party will win this one. Indiana, Republican. Missouri, Republican. Montana, Republican. New Hampshire, Republican. North Carolina, Democrat. North Dakota, Republican. Utah, Republican. Vermont, Republican. Washington State, Republican. And West Virginia, Republican. I feel like at the end of the day, the Republican Party will have 27 governor seats with compared to the Democrat Party's 23. Next up, we're going to go to the U.S. House. My official total had the Republicans keeping and holding the House majority with 219 seats compared to the 216 of the Democrat Party. Here are some flips. These will be seats that are flipping from Republican to Democrat. California 13, California 22, California 45, Louisiana 6, Nebraska 2, New York 4, New York 17, New York 19, New York 22, Oregon 5, and Virginia 2. Those seats will all flip from red to blue. Now vice versa for seats flipping from the Democrats to the Republicans. California 47, Colorado 8, Indiana 1, Michigan 7, Michigan 8, North Carolina 1, North Carolina 13, North Carolina 14, and Ohio 1. Those are the seats that will flip. And again, I believe the Republicans will have 219 House seats compared to the Democrats' 216. For the Senate, I have the Republicans flipping the Senate majority from blue to red. I feel the Republicans will have 51 seats and the Democrats will have 49 seats. I'll just go through each race and I'll tell you which party I think will win it. Arizona, Democrat. California, Democrat. Connecticut, Democrat. I'll tell you the percentages too. Arizona, Democrat, 7.5%. California, Democrat, 27.4%. Connecticut, Democrat, 32.1%. Delaware, Democrat 28.2%. Florida, Republican 10.5%. Hawaii, Democrat 36.8%. Indiana, Republican 16.1%. Maine, Independent but technically Democrat 23.1%. Maryland, Democrat 8.1%. Massachusetts, Democrat 43.4%. Michigan, Democrat 5.2%. Minnesota, Democrat 22.1%. Mississippi, Republican 36.7%. Missouri, Republican 15.2%. Montana, this is a flip. I feel this seat will flip from Democrat to Republican by 4.2%. Nebraska, Republican 5.9%. This one's a little more competitive than most people thought. Nebraska special election, Senate, Republican 19.6%. Nevada, Democrat 9.8%. New Jersey, Democrat 22.2%. New Mexico, Democrat 12.1%. New York, Democrat 17.8%. North Dakota, Republican 39.8%. Ohio, Democrat 4.2%. Pennsylvania, Democrat 4.8%. Rhode Island, Democrat 42%. Tennessee, Republican 39.9%. Texas, Republican 5.9%. Utah, Republican 17.9%. Vermont, Democrat / Independent, because it's Bernie Sanders technically, 51.3%. Virginia, Democrat 13.9%. Washington State, Democrat 21.9%. West Virginia, Republican. This one I do believe will be another Republican flip from blue to red, because Joe Manchin holds that seat right now. Republican 37.5. Wisconsin, Democrat 3.3. And last but certainly not least, Wyoming, 45.8. This puts the Republicans at 51% to the 51 seats to the Democrats 49. So as you can see with my prediction, the Republicans now have control of both the House and the Senate. Can they complete the government trifecta with the presidency? And without further ado, here we go. I'm going to, and now, as I just said, it's the moment you've all been waiting for, my reveal of my presidential prediction. We are going to do this in a kind of weird way. We're going to start off from the state I think will be the least competitive to the states I think will be the most competitive. So we'll save the battlegrounds for last, obviously. But first, just a real quick special spoiler surprise. This could influence the way you feel like I'll think, but don't let it. In terms of the popular vote, which obviously doesn't matter because the Electoral College supersedes that, I believe that Kamala Harris has a 62.8% chance of winning the popular vote compared to Donald Trump's 37.2%. I believe that Vice President Harris will secure 51.8% of the popular vote compared to President Trump's 47.4%, marking a 4.4% difference. But now it's time for what matters, and that's the Electoral College. So without further ado, let's get into it. In the District of Columbia, I have Vice President Kamala Harris winning by 89.5%. It's the most liberal area in the country. In the state of Wyoming, I have Donald Trump winning by 47.4%. Free. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I have Kamala Harris winning by 42%. I'm not going to do it after every state, but after every so often I'll update you on the Electoral College totals I did. North Dakota, Trump 42.1%. Oh, sorry, I should have had that backwards. I should have had Trump before North Dakota. I should have announced North Dakota before Massachusetts. My bad. Vermont, I have Harris by 39.9%. None of these should be surprises. These are all not going to be competitive. They'll be called as soon as the polls close, some of these. Maryland, Harris 38.2. Arkansas, Trump 37.4. Idaho, Trump, once again, 37.4. Rhode Island, Harris, 36.9. Mississippi, Trump, 36.1. California, Kamala Harris's home state, she wins it by 34.7 points. South Dakota, Trump, 33.6. West Virginia, Trump wins it by 32.5%. And with that, we will do an electoral college count at this point. Due to California's large votes there, Vice President Harris currently holds 85 electoral votes compared to President Trump's 29 votes. Oklahoma, now on to Oklahoma. Trump 31.9%. Delaware, Harris 30.2%. Tennessee, Trump 28.2%. Alabama, Trump 28.1%. We'll talk more and I'll elaborate more once we get to the court states. But now I just want to go like state by state and just like get this part over with so we can get to the fun part. Hawaii, Harris 27.9%. We all know these states won't be competitive. I know, I get it. Louisiana, Trump 27.7%. Montana, Trump 26.5%. Nebraska, Trump 26.2%. I do think, though, Kamala Harris wins the 2nd District of Nebraska. Connecticut, Harris 21.5%. Missouri, Trump 20.7%. Alaska, Trump 19.9%. Kentucky, Trump 18.5%. Indiana, Trump 18.2%. Right now, time for an electoral college update. Former President Trump now leads the race with 104 votes compared to Vice President Harris's 100. Washington State, Harris wins that by 18.1%. New Jersey, Harris wins that by 18.1%. Utah, Trump wins that by 17.9%. I think that state's going to be more competitive than people think. New York, Harris wins that by 17.2%. It will inch a little closer to the right, but not by much. She still wins it comfortably. Illinois, Harris wins that by 16.7%. South Carolina, Trump wins that by 15.4%. Kansas, Trump wins that by 13.5%. Colorado, this was once a battleground state, but it's moved further left. It's actually one of the states that one of the few states I expect to vote more so to the left than it did in 2020. I'm picking Harris by 13.5%. I think Biden won Colorado by less than that. 2020 Colorado. Here we go. Colorado. I think Harris will win by 13.5. In 2020, Biden won it by, 55.4 to 41.9. Then no, I don't expect it to move to the left. But I do think she still wins it by 13.5. My bad. I'm sorry. So with that, we will have an electoral college update now. Kamala Harris currently holds 180 free electoral college votes. Donald Trump currently holds 125. New Mexico, I think Kamala Harris will win that by 11.9 percentage points. Maine, Harris wins that by 11.8, but Trump still does win the 2nd District in Maine. Texas, Trump wins that by 10.4%. Oregon, I think the state's going to be more competitive than people feel, but I do think Kamala Harris still wins it by 10.2%. Florida, Trump wins that by 9.6%. It's not quite the blowout that people expect, but he still wins it comfortably at the end of the day. And with that, we have a very tight electoral college race here. We'll do an electoral college update now, almost nearly every, if not every state from now till the end. Right now, I have Kamala Harris at 199 electoral college votes. Donald Trump currently holds 196. Here we go. We're getting there. Let's do this. Virginia. I feel like Virginia will be a little more competitive than back in 2020, but I don't think it'll be by much. I think Kamala Harris wins this by 8.8 percentage points. 212, 196 for Vice President Harris. Ohio. This is the home state of J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's running mate. By the way, Trump's home state's Florida. I'm sorry I forgot to say that, but Trump will win his home state. J.D. Vance will win his home state as well for the Republican ticket. I feel like Ohio will vote for Donald Trump by 8.3 percentage points. It's 213 to 212 right now in favor of Donald Trump. Now on to the other vice presidential nominee's home state. Tim Walz' Minnesota. I feel like he will win Minnesota for Kamala Harris by 8.1 percentage points. That puts the Democrats at 222 compared to the Republicans 213. All the candidates will have won their home states. Trump will win his home state of Florida. Vance will help Trump win his home state of Ohio. Harris will win her home state of California. Walz will help Harris win his home state of Minnesota. So they all kind of get their way there. Iowa, this state I feel like will be tighter than people feel like. There were two polls that came out yesterday. One had Donald Trump up by 10. The other had Kamala Harris up by 3. I feel like the people didn't see this as much of a swing state until now. I'm still going the Republicans, though, but only by 7.7 points. That puts the Democrats at 222, the Republicans at 219. New Hampshire, I feel like this will be more competitive than in 2020. Remember, Hillary Clinton only won this by 0.4 in 2016. I know Joe Biden won it by more, but I don't think it's going to be the blowout the Democrats were hoping for. I still do think they get the job done, but not by as many as they would like. Give me Harris by 6.3 percentage points. Democrats are 226, Republicans are 219. And without further ado, drum roll please, because here we go. The big 7 electoral states. Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. We all know darn well these 7 states will decide the Electoral College winner, and all of them, I believe, will be decided by less than 2 percentage points, starting off with Nevada. So let's go to Nevada now. 93 votes. I feel that the Republicans have ran a strong campaign in Nevada. They've really dominated the rural areas and have refused to let Democrats dominate Clark County, which is where a lot of the Democrat vote is, in Las Vegas. However, this is still a state that is really sifting to the left somewhat. I know they were elected a Republican governor in 2022, but I still think this state has more of a Democrat firepower than a Republican one. I feel that Democrats pull off Nevada very closely. I'm taking Kamala Harris in this race, in this state, by 1.7 percentage points, and it will be 50.4% of the vote will go to Harris, 48.7% to Trump. Democrats are 232 right now. Republicans are 219. Democrats, you need 38 votes to secure the 270 for the White House. Republicans need 51. The state of Michigan. This will be a close race, that's for sure. A lot of people right now in Michigan are thinking about the Muslim vote due to the way Biden and Harris have handled the conflict in Gaza. I feel like that a significant number of Muslims will not vote for Harris over this. They will vote uncommitted or third party, but I don't think it's going to be enough to damage her chances there. Michigan is still leaning to the left. I feel like the Senate races will help them there somewhat, and I still think that Michigan votes for Kamala Harris. I'm taking Kamala Harris in the state of Michigan, winning 50.7% of the vote compared to Donald Trump's 49.1%. That means Harris wins it by 1.6 percentage points. Democrats, right now you're 247. Republicans, you're 219. Democrats, you only need 23 more votes. Republicans got a way to go. But it gets better. North Carolina. The Harris campaign has brought life back to North Carolina. This is the one state they've been really investing in. They really want to flip this state badly, and you know it. I'm just going to say this straight up without announcing my prediction quite yet, because we still have a couple more states to go. the Democrats have a better chance at winning all the battleground states than the Republicans do. Like, if somebody told me one party is going to win all 7 battleground states, I'd bet it would be the Democrats. That's the good news for the Democrats. However, I do have some good news for the Republicans. With my projection working the way it works, President Trump can still win the White House without winning Pennsylvania, but Kamala Harris cannot. Pennsylvania is more of a must-win state for the Democrats than the Republicans. So that's just my tidbit on that. So it's good news for both parties somewhat, but so we'll see on Tuesday which one makes the most sense. But North Carolina, with the Democrat Party not being as popular right now because of President Biden, I feel that they should more so be trying to hold their own states and not so much flipping them. I think trying to flip North Carolina will backfire for the Democrats. I think Trump wins North Carolina. Give me Trump in North Carolina winning with, let me find it, 50.3% of the vote compared to Harris's 49.4%. Trump wins it by 0.9%. That puts the race at Harris 247, Trump 235. We're down to the final 4. These 4 states are going to determine the election. Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. You ready? Let's go. Arizona. Democrats have made a lot of progress in Arizona in recent years. Biden won it in 2020. The state has 2 Democrat senators. The state has a Democrat governor. The state is now pretty much a Democrat state. However, I feel that the Biden-Harris border policy is a key issue amongst voters in Arizona. And I feel that hurts them there. And I feel that the state of the economy will hurt the Democrats in Arizona. Originally, I did expect this state to go blue. I don't think it will go blue anymore for the presidential race. I'm taking Donald Trump winning the state of Arizona by 0.8 percentage points, scoring 50.1% of the vote, Harris 49.3% of the vote. That makes it a dead heat going into these final 3 states. Harris is at 247, Trump's at 246. Here we go. The third closest state is going to be the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Yeah, I probably just stunned you there by saying PA will be the third closest state, because a lot of people feel it will be the closest. If PA is the closest state, I feel that Donald Trump wins the presidency. Because if you look at the blue wall states, Wisconsin is the state that is the most conservative amongst them. They're the only state in that blue wall that has a Republican senator, and the past couple elections, they've voted more to the right of Michigan and PA. So Trump wins Wisconsin. If he holds Arizona, North Carolina, that could get him the election once I announce my Georgia prediction. So if PA is the closest state this election, Donald Trump is going to be elected president. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I feel if he wins North Carolina, Arizona, and Georgia. However, I don't think PA will be the closest state. Just because. I feel that there's going to be a very, 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 very tight race in Georgia and Wisconsin, especially in those big counties with Atlanta and Milwaukee, and that I think will make PA the third most competitive state. I'm probably going to stun you for saying this, but I do truly believe that. I do. I feel that at the end of the day, while PA, the middle of the state, most of the state will vote Republican, I feel that the population hubs in Allegheny County, Montgomery County, Philadelphia County, Center County, which is where Penn State is, I feel like that area will vote more to the left. Out by Harrisburg and the oh-so-crucial Erie County will vote more so to the left, and that will allow Vice President Harris to win the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with 49.8% of the vote compared to President Trump's 49.4%. I'm going to take Kamala Harris barely winning Pennsylvania. That puts the Democrats at 266 electoral votes compared to the Republicans' 246. Kamala Harris needs to win either Wisconsin or Georgia, and she would make history as the first female president. President Trump needs to win both to be reelected. Next, we're going to Georgia. Georgia was, I think, like the closest or second closest race in the election, barely voting for Joe Biden in 2020. He was the first Democrat, I think, since Clinton to win the state. His running mate, though, will not win the state. His running mate from 2020, Kamala Harris, will fall just short in the state of Georgia. She's invested a lot there. She's invested a lot of time and everything. However, I feel like the Republicans will win Georgia. I mean, you saw the unfortunate death of Laken Riley. God rest her soul. That I feel like that moment there brought the border issue into a national spotlight and realized that those states, your New Mexicos, your Arizonas, your Californias, your Texas, there's not only 4 border states. Every state is a border state under the current administration's policy. I feel that Trump has done an effective job of doing that, especially in Georgia because of that. And I feel that Trump, with the economy, with the culture shift, it feels like, and with immigration, will take the state of Georgia. And that means it all comes down to the state of Wisconsin. Kamala Harris is at 266 electoral votes. Donald Trump is at 262 electoral votes. This state is going to be closer, just as close, if not closer, than the state of Florida in 2020. In 2000. This is going to be memorable, what's going to happen in Wisconsin this election. It's going to be razor thin. It's going to come down to a couple hundred votes in certain counties. However, I just want to say this. One more thing about Wisconsin. Green Bay and Madison will not win this election for Vice President Harris. She needs to turn out Milwaukee. It comes down to that because as this map clearly shows, this election is going to come down to the state of Wisconsin, one state, and that's Wisconsin. I'm just going to be straight up with the Democrats and Kamala Harris. If Kamala Harris can turn out Milwaukee and the Democrats could get a high turnout in Milwaukee, Kamala Harris will be the 47th president. If the Democrats are weak in turnout in Milwaukee and they don't match their 2020 levels or come really close to them, Donald Trump will be the 47th president. This race is going to come down to whether the Democrats can get turnout in Milwaukee. And I feel that the Democrats have put a lot of attention into the University of Wisconsin as well and several college towns. I feel like they've really invested a lot in Wisconsin. I feel like they know the importance of it. And I feel that Wisconsin ultimately, by like 850 votes and 0.1%, is going to vote Kamala Harris into the White House. There's Wisconsin. My final total, Kamala Harris, 49.5. Donald Trump, 49.4. She has a 50.1% chance of winning Wisconsin. He has a 49.9. And there's my final total. I believe that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will win this election with 276 electoral votes, and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance will have 262. But like I just said, This election, I feel like, is going to come down to those 3 states: Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia. More so Wisconsin than any other. And this is just a message to Democrats. This prediction is non-biased, as I've said multiple times. However, I just want to say straight up, Wisconsin. If Milwaukee turns out, Kamala Harris will win. If Milwaukee doesn't turn out, Donald Trump will win. It's that plain and simple. Without telling you who I'm voting for or I voted for, that's my official prediction. More than anything. It all comes down to Wisconsin, more so Milwaukee. And I do feel like those blue wall states typically always vote together. This may be the first election in a long time they don't do that. If Trump can hold Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina and turnouts down in Milwaukee, he wins. It's that plain and simple. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting. That's my prediction. As I said, I think the Republicans will win the House and the Senate, but they will have Kamala Harris as the president, who will more than likely veto all the legislation that they pass. As interesting as that sounds, so just get ready for more divided government. That's all I'm going to say. Unless, as I said, turnout in Milwaukee's down, then it will be a Republican trifecta. I truly do believe. So that's all I have. As I've said, this prediction is completely unbiased. Do not vote based off this prediction. Please do not vote based off this prediction. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Just don't use my prediction. Just don't say, I voted for this person because Mason Spesky said that they would win. Or I voted for this person because I don't really like Mason Spesky and I don't want him to be correct. So don't do that. Don't do that. More so than anything. And this is my one request to everybody watching this. If you are over the age of 18, please, I'm begging you to vote. It's so crucial that you vote to make your voice heard on November 5th. If you don't vote, we may not have a true representation of who the country truly wanted to be our president. That's why it's so important that everybody votes. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring everybody you know. Just tell them how important this election truly is. I mean, like I just said, I have the exact totals here. I looked at 2020. President Biden won Wisconsin by like 20,000 votes. I feel that Kamala Harris will... Hang on. Why is this... Oh, gosh. What did I do? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel that Kamala Harris wins Wisconsin by 916 votes. That is not a lot at all. That's insanely close. We all know this election is going to be close. So that's all I have to say. Just vote. Enjoy. I typically don't talk about politics on this channel. I figured I'd have some fun. Share this. You know, I do predictions for sports. I also do them for politics. I do all this probability stuff. I enjoy it. So if I share my sports stuff, might as well share this stuff. And again, it's not telling you who to vote for. It's not telling you who I voted for. It's just me sharing the data I've collected. Take it as that. And yeah, that's all I have. Enjoy your election day, everybody. Remember to vote. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. And as always, peace. And we'll see how well my political knowledge is Tuesday night.